Welcome to the channel of PACIFIC414. Show us the joystick. Throw yourself on the subscribe button. Submit yourself to the live stream, gaming stream, so much more. Pathetic earthling. I command you. Warning, due to adult language and humor, the following content may not be suitable for any viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following live stream or video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Baron Attack, Cashmoney007, PACIFIC414 are here to bring you all the pop culture and entertainment news, rumor, opinion, discussion, watch parties, reviews, reactions on PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. Welcome, one and all.
Good evening and welcome, one and all, to PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, along with Baron Tag. I am your host, Mike. What? What? And Cash, I don't know. I don't know where the human chin is. How about you, Baron?
At the whole market getting kale. That's what you said in this thing there. It's like,
Wait,
go. Could be back in an hour. And it says, have fun at the Whole Food Market. He tried to pass off his Vons, but we know better than that.
I mean, he said it was Vaughn's, but we know how Cash is. He's very sophisticated. He has to have the right kind of kale, the right kind of vegetables, the right cuts of meat. Only the finer things for one cash money.
Well, especially when you're out in California, you don't have much of a choice in that. You got to have that type of food, or else you're punished. And of course, he's got his little electric car with the solar panels on the fenders. And,
wait a minute! I thought he pedaled his car.
Well, it was more like the Flintstones car. Cash Stones, meet the Cash Stones. They're the modern California family.
Or Filbert Kraken, where your California stand.
Yeah. Oh! I got an important message. Be there soon. Ooh, yeah, right. I believe that.
Okay.
You know what happens? You know what happens when he says "be there soon," don't you? You know exactly what happens.
Play it.
3 hours later.
That's right. 3 hours later, and he finally shows up. Oh, hey guys. Yeah, they were having a real good sale on some kale, so I had to pick it up.
And then he comes in your
Whole Foods is a great place to shop.
And then he comes in like this.
You know what really grinds my gears?
I mean, it's like,
well, it would grind my gears too if I had to drive that LA traffic each and every day.
Just to get kale. And of course, he's got to drive one of those little spec cars, so he can only carry so much groceries. You almost have to go every other day. I mean,
every other day, and don't forget, he has to make sure that he unplugs.
Yep. And of course, he's got to hand wash his dishes. So I just was washing my dishes. It's like, don't you have a dishwasher? They cut that off. They won't let me use that.
They said it's bad for the environment.
It's bad for the environment, so I just wash them by hand. These people. I have to say one thing though. You do sound good about 2-3 times speed. You sound good.
Yeah, maybe I should do that all the time for all my videos.
I think so. I mean, you'd get imagine the chipmunks you'd get to following you.
Yeah, Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
Yeah. Mervin.
Yeah, but it's like I told you offline. Da Vinci gets a new update, and they add a new filter or 2 or 3. It's like, ooh, Mike's gonna play around with this. See what he can come up with.
It's like taking him to Toys R Us. It's like he's just running up and down the aisles. And strangely enough, Mike's going up and down the Barbie aisle for some reason. I don't know.
Baron.
I want to be your kid.
Baron. I've got a response to that.
How about no?
Even when they came out with the Barbie and Ken Star Trek figures?
Even when they came out with the Barbie and Ken Star Trek figures, it's like, nah.
You're not a real fan then. be honest with you, I'm not a real fan either. I didn't do that either. I thought it was ridiculous, but oh well, what can I say?
Yeah. They just didn't appeal to me.
No.
It was the Playmates action figures when they first came out. Those appealed to me.
Yeah. I mean, be honest with you, I wish they were the smaller size, like the Star Wars action figures myself. That's what I wish, but they're still nice. They're still, don't get me wrong, they're still nice, but I like those 3.5-inch, action figures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you think about it, the Star Wars figures were 3.5 inch, and then you had G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, that was 3.5 inch.
Mm-hmm. Buck
When,
Rogers, Black
Yep.
Hole, yeah, I mean all those. And the first
Yep.
release of Next Generation action figures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
they
remember
even
seeing those at a convention that I went to. Actually, it was my first Star Trek convention I went to. I remember seeing those, and they were released by Galoob.
Yep, Gloop. Yeah, I have a Data and a Tashiar. Those were kind of two hard ones to find. And I got it was supposed to be the Phaser one, but it's about the size of a TV remote. One thing I wish I would have gotten though was the shuttle,
Mhm.
because I loved that first 2, 3, 4 season shuttle that they had. We called the Frog, or we had all sorts of names for it, but it was cool. It had nice smooth lines, and I understand why they quit using it, because they couldn't make the big prop look right, so they just took the Star Trek 5 and redid that one.
And
Oh,
I do
come
want
on,
to say
Tom.
hello to Tommy, who says 3 3/4 inch.
Oh, get out
Get it
of
right,
here.
noob.
You and your the guinea pigs can stay. Tommy, you go.
See,
the guinea pigs are nice.
this is Tommy. We're both trying to get to our respective bases, and he calls us out.
Noobs.
He calls us out. Yeah.
Noobs. Yeah. I mean, I remember when the Star Wars action figures first came out, and then the back they actually had the sizes, because obviously they were not all the same size. Chewbacca and Vader were taller than the other ones, but it was like
Yeah.
you read back there and say, "Oh, these are this height." And like Leia was a little bit shorter than the others, and of course R2 and the Jawas.
Well, wait a minute. Are you talking about scaling? Proper scaling in an action figure?
Back in 1977, 78. How's that for being a noob, Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy.
In fact, if I take a look at my old catalogs, I think I have not the first catalog that came out, unfortunately, but I got like the second one that came out.
And hello to the Padawan who says, "Is that debit card?" We don't know where Kale money is.
Yeah. Cash peso. Oh, the Microman line,
Yep.
and they had those Star Trek 3 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was you had Krug and his whatever it is creature that you had beside him, Kirk.
It was supposed to be a Targ, I believe.
No, it's not a Targ. It's something different. It is something different, which is nice, because it does. Let's have a little variety in our creatures, and not just have one. According to legend, though, there's him back saying that it was not even a Klingon animal, something he found along the way and liked. It was like I think it started with a V or something. I can't remember, but I think that they had Kirk, Krug, and I can't remember who the other two were. If it was, I don't think they had Spock, but they had two other figures that went with it. It would
Could have been
David.
David
No.
and Savick.
No. I wish they had a Savick figure, even if it was Robin Curtis. No, there was Starfleet. I mean, I don't know if it's like Scotty and McCoy, or I can't remember.
Check out.
I'm going to search right now. Star Trek 3 action, and I'm trying to remember who did those. And they also had like a little diecast Excelsior. I had one of those, but I don't have it no more. Oh, great. They're just showing all the new stuff. Oh, come on. Come on, you weenie tots.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to let everybody know what articles we're going to be talking about in this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk.
Everyone was waiting
And,
bated breath.
and one of the articles that we're going to be talking about this evening is from The Hollywood Reporter, and it says Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski inks deal with Dark Horse Comics. We also have one from Superhero Hype that says Nickelodeon secures rights to original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. Cowabunga!
Dude. You're not going to bring up that pizza-smelling controller, are you?
Oh, you mean that one that Cash put in the Discord? And my
Yeah.
smart aleck response was, if you want a pizza controller that actually smells like pizza, why don't you eat some pizza, put your greasy hands on it, and there.
Yep.
You got a pizza controller.
I didn't even want to respond to that. I thought, no, I don't want to talk about scratch and sniff. Scratch. Oh yeah, we can't forget the Star Trek the Motion Picture action figures too. Those were that size.
Yep. I'd almost forgotten about them until you said something.
Yeah, I mean, I did too until I started kind of looking around here in this one. So.
I have an article from Anime News Network talking about Gundam Evolution game and service on November 29th, and I'm glad it did. I'm glad they did announce that this is happening because the game had problems. Tried playing it and it's like, nope. And of course, we're gonna talk about Tony Bennett passing away, and also today's news about Sinead O'Connor passing away, and we're also, and I think we're going to start off with this one, Baron. Snow White actress Rachel Zegler reveals live action film is changing the meaning of the fairest of them all.
Yeah, bite me. That's because there's the evil witch is better looking than her. By the way, it was from Ertl. By the way, that those action figures came, and I see the Kirk one. Let's see if I'll continue on, and I'll let you know when I get a little bit further.
Not a problem. So we have this article from Bounty in the Comics. Let me grab the link and post it in the respective chats. Again, we are broadcasting on YouTube, Kick, and Rumble.
Okay, here's my update. Hi, guys at Rumble, by the way. Hi, people at Kick. Yeah, they had Scotty. They did have a Spock figure, and of course Kirk, and then they had Krug in his creature. And it's kind of funny. Scotty and Spock had phasers. Kirk has a communicator. It looks like. Yeah.
If you want to share the image real quick, you can, and then we'll get into the article.
Okay. Well, there's several images. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's an eBay one. Okay. Yeah, just a second here. Let me get this all set up here because I'm not as good as you guys are. And can I get that bigger? There we go. And let me get back over here. One of the joys about having two screens sometimes is you get just too wrapped up. Share screen. Yeah, share screen. Bite me. And that's the one. Yep. And there we go. And there's the well, I never said that Star Wars came up with that.
No, I don't claim to be an expert.
No, I just think it's the perfect size.
Yeah.
So that's the figures right there from, and looks like someone has on eBay. I'm almost tempted to see how much those are going for. I wish I would have gotten them, but they're kind of like the G.I. Joe ones where you have a little bit more articulation to them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. I gotta say it. Nerd!
How you doing, DJ Ronnie G?
Hey, how's the turtles going?
Turtle.
I like turtles. But yeah, that's it right there. That's the those are the action figures from the. I don't know why I never got them. I was an idiot. Is Bruno Evans around anymore?
I don't know. I wonder if Hasbro or Mattel or somebody bought them up.
Yeah, usual.
I would have loved to have had those figures as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah,
I'm just,
I would have mixed them in with my GI Joes, but that's okay.
Mhm.
It's an unexpected crossover.
On Star Wars, my Star Wars figures and my Buck
Yeah,
Rogers, and I'm the only thing I'm disappointed about is that's all they had. It's like, come on, be serious about it. If you're going to release, just don't have 4, have the entire freaking crew.
I know. And Tommy, I know. You gotta know it's Pop Talk. We give each other a hard time, even those in the chat. Come on, we
Yeah,
give each other a hard time.
yeah. Even though I am offended. Oh, by the way, notice. No, I'm not offended. I'm just teasing you. I'm just going to take that down. Notice what they call Karug in there. Klingon leader.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was just trying to impress you, Tommy, by saying I knew that, but no, it's not. I mean, here I am trying to crow, and I'm gonna cry. Articulation is cool, nerd. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that the Star Wars figures didn't have articulation didn't bother me. Yeah, Playmates Amigo. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
but
And speaking of the Playmates figures, I did pick up Kirk, Spock, and Khan a few months back, and they also had the original Enterprise, not the new Trek Strange New Worlds Enterprise, but the original Enterprise.
isn't there,
NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D. The one commanded by William Shatner's Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
and Jeffrey Hunter's Captain Christopher Pike.
Mm-hmm. The one that was actually designed by Matt Jeffries.
Mm-hmm. And if you really want to get super geeky, also commanded by Robert April.
Mm-hmm. I know, I'm a nerd.
Nerd! We are.
Woohoo!
Well, we love it so much. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a nerd when it comes to Star Trek and sci-fi, and I'm also a nerd when it comes to my baseball team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with the movie and all that, I gotta find my tub full of the Playmate Star Trek figures because my former wife let me have them with the divorce. To say, oh, well, these are yours. No, you can have them. Okay, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah, it's like, okay, sweet. I get
Yeah.
the best part of the deal.
Sweet. Yeah, and when I was in Vegas, they had that fancy toy store that I guess Pawn Star uses and all that. We stopped off there. I picked up a Koloth for a good price there, so I knew you have to get a Koloth.
Yeah, and yeah, I've looked at the Diamond Select ships that they have. They have the Enterprise D. I've even seen the Enterprise C and the Enterprise E and a few other ships, and you can tell the difference in quality between the Playmates and the Diamond Selects.
Yeah. The one thing I regret is I haven't gotten an original series phaser, and I want one that where it separates. Because the stuff they're coming out with now is it's all one unit. But I got a Star Trek 3 phaser that you can, have the phaser one and put it in, make a phaser 2, which I love. I love that phaser from Star Trek 3.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think at one point, and I don't know if they still have it on their site, but at one point, Diamond did have that version of the phaser where you can actually remove the Type 1 piece from the Type 2 piece. And
yes, they did. Those go for a lot of money now, and I think those were used for that Enterprise episode where they went into the mirror universe. I think they bought a bunch of those up so they could use it in that episode from Diamond Select because that's how good they were.
And the Padawannabe wants us to call him a nerd.
Nerd! I know whose place we have to go and take a midnight visit to. Mhm.
You know what? I should make a clip of Megatron laughing. That's the perfect evil laugh.
Oh yeah, it is. That or Skeletor.
Now listen
Okay.
here, Furbrain.
Now take a look at that picture. Who is the fairest of them all?
Gal.
Gal. She's a tall drink of water.
Mm-hmm. Legs for days. That's right. I said it. Legs for days.
Yep.
So we had this article from Bounty in the Comics. It's by John F. Trent. It was actually posted today. And it says Snow White actress Rachel Zegler reveals live action film is changing the meaning of the fairest of them all. Right. Look who shows up after going to his kale shop, his kale supermarket. And hello to Decepticon Caves, Comics and Toys.
And I was right. It
3 hours later.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Before we bring him in, I just have one thing to say.
Where the hell have you been, soldier?
Training, sir! Training, sir!
What kind of training, son?
Army training, sir! Army training, sir!
It took me a while to get kale for Barron's at Vaughn's. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Longer than expected. So.
He's saying it's Vaughn's. Well, we all know it's Whole Foods.
Yep.
No, it's Vaughn's.
Whole Foods.
It was Vaughn's. There's no
Whole
bear
Foods.
either. No Whole Foods. No.
But anyhow, how you doing, Cash?
I'm doing all right.
You do realize that every Wednesday at 1800 Eastern Time, we report the PACIFIC414 Pop Talk.
But you do realize I got to help the family sometimes, man.
Oh, wow. You got to throw that card at me. Well, fine.
Yeah.
Throw that card at me. Fine.
You know, I have family, and these just people don't understand that I have family.
And like I said, it took me a while to get Barron's kale, so I know he wanted a certain brand. So,
yeah, from Whole Food.
Oh, come on, DJ. Don't suck up the Cash. Don't say kale is good. Don't get on his good side. Come on.
I don't eat. Who wants to eat kale? Seriously, Baron. I don't. Do you actually know some people who eat kale?
I thought it was you.
No.
I mean, I've heard of people eating kale. I don't know. It's like.
All
I know it's green and it's leafy. That's all I know.
Yes, it is.
So we had this article from Bounty in the Comics, Cash, and it's about everybody's favorite new Snow White. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, very good.
So Snow White's gonna do Gamebusters.
It's gonna make
comes out.
so much money, like stuff like Ghostbusters 2016, Dial of Where Did I Go, and it's gonna make tons and tons of money. I can't wait. They're gonna rake in so much dough. It's gonna make more than Barbie.
Yay!
Dude. The what is it? What are people calling it? Snow White and the Seven Bums? I don't know.
Diversity hires.
Diversity hires.
Yeah, Snow White and the 7 diversity hires.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dinklage.
Yeah,
Dinklage, Dinkleberry. I would love to look at him in the face and say, "Dude, what the hell happened to you, man?
Well,
Did you get some of that?"
The same thing that happens to everybody in Hollywood.
Just about, except Chris Pratt and Henry Cavill, and Gal Gadot can be pretty reasonable too. So there's a few still left.
But the thing is basically the ones you named, I don't think live in Hollywood. Chris Pratt lives in Montana somewhere, and of course, of course, Cavell he's a limey. Yeah, I said it, limey. Okay, hit me with that strike. and Gal Gadot. No, I don't know.
I think
I
she
know
lives
she's Jewish.
here. I know she's from Israel, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
yeah, I think she obviously lives here. So
She
yeah,
does. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I just got notified that Grand Theft Auto 5 is ready to play now. I've been having trouble trying to get into the online.
Yeah.
It keeps on telling me that the thing is, and I was wondering, well, maybe it was that police patrol thing. So I just took everything off and re-downloaded it. So
Well,
Well,
okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I just looked at my open tabs, and this is kind of disconcerting because I see Twitter and there's this X. It's like I went to a porn site. Oh, it's Twitter.
well, we know one person in chat who does like his kale is DJ Ronnie G. We keep learning new things about you, DJ. We really do.
Yeah, well, he's got he shares it with his turtles. He's a
Of course, is.
Roll Tide.
Yes, I do want to say hello to Keely Chow. Roll Tide. Hope you're doing well, Keely. So this article says Snow White actress Rachel Zegler confirmed that the upcoming live-action Disney film will be changing the meaning of the fairest of them all. Guys, I'm sorry. Gal Gadot has the personality. She's stuck up. You can tell she's stuck up.
Yeah.
Who, Gal Gadot?
No, not Gal Gadot.
Oh,
Look at Rachel Zegler there.
There was a thing that she did. What was it, for the Emmys or something? No, it was for the Oscars. Gal Gadot did. I'm like, this seems cheesy, but yeah. Oh, Zegler. Yes.
Well, most things for the Oscars is cheesy.
It didn't used to be though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I quit watching it back. Well, when RoboCop came out, and they had this big thing, and so they had the Ed 209 out there, and Pee Wee Herman swinging out to do some saving. It's like, my God, this is cringe. Turned it off. I have never watched an Academy Award since then.
That's so funny. Yeah.
All right, so this article goes on to say in the original animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the meaning of them fairest of them all clearly responds to the evil queen and Snow White's beauty. Well, yeah, if you've ever read the original fairy tale, you would know that. You would know that.
Did someone say fairy tale? Hello. Sorry.
Yeah. The film opens up with images from a storybook that read, "Once upon a time, there lived a lovely little princess named Snow White. Her vain and wicked stepmother, the queen, feared that someday Snow White's beauty would surpass her own. So she dressed the little princess in rags and forced her to work as a scullery maid."
No.
The opening continued. Each day, the vain queen consulted her magic mirror. "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And as long as the mirror answered, "You are the fairest one of all," Snow White was safe from the queen's cruel jealousy.
Samantha Fox. Oh, sorry.
As the film continued, the magic mirror eventually revealed that Snow White was indeed the fairest of them all, and the evil queen sets about trying to destroy her. First, tasking the huntsman with killing her, and later attempting to poison her with an apple. The clear definition of fairest of them all, as shown in the original animated classic, will no longer be the definition in the upcoming live action, as Zegler explained to Entertainment Weekly following an appearance at D23 in September 2022.
Well, you know.
She's stuck up. She's got personality.
Yeah.
I'm better than all of you. Who does that sound like? I don't know.
Never mind.
Goes on to say, Zegler, who plays Snow White in the film, said, "The reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago." Guess what, Rachel? It's a fairy tale. It's not real. It's fantasy.
And the story goes back even further than that.
Hmm. And therefore, it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. It's a fantasy. Everybody wants for their one true love. I don't care if you're a woman or a man. You think about the one who you haven't met yet, your one true love.
Mhm. And excuse me, isn't her stepmother in a position of power and is in
Yes,
charge of all this?
yes.
Yeah. Arr!
Ruh-roh,
Is
Raggy.
is that from Home Improvement? Er?
Arr!
Mm.
Maybe.
All right, so I lost my place. Sorry.
Sorry about. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry.
Roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just. Uh-huh. So they're rewriting the story. They're rewriting it for their modern sensibilities. And who can become a fantastic leader. Ah, you're missing the whole point of the story. Garat, who plays the evil queen. Hey, how you doing, evil queen?
How you doing? Hey, how you doing?
But they do it all
Added
on and come and see me sometime.
also the fact that she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's the proactive one, and she's the one who set the terms, is what makes it so relevant to where we are today. You're still missing the point of the original story, its original intent as a fairy tale, as a fantasy. It's
Yeah.
to take you away from what was going on at the time the book was written, what's going on even now with the book still being the way it was,
Mm-hmm.
and bring you into a world where there are certain possibilities that can happen that can't actually
Right.
happen in the real world.
Well, I'm
Well,
sure Snow White is going to wake up and she's going to be like, "Did you give me your consent yet, Prince?" And the prince will be, "I did it. I'm sorry." Yeah, I can see that happening.
She's gonna whip out a restraining order.
You need to sign this piece of paper. Yes.
Me too. Me too.
And I do want to say hello to Low Spec Linux Laptop. How are
What's
you
up,
doing?
Lo? What's up, Lo?
Well, and the other thing too about being the fairest of them all is the purity. I
Yep.
mean, that was all what it's about. She was pure compared to the wicked stepmother not being pure. Of course, she's the fairest of them all. Then.
Mm-hmm. So the article continues by saying, ironically, earlier in the interview with Entertainment Weekly, Zegler admitted to not having watched the film since she was a child before being cast in the role. She said, I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and I never picked it up again.
Oh
How much you
no!
want to bet she never watched it at all?
Did you also watch something like Sleeping Beauty with the pinwheel and the darkness? Yeah, it's supposed to be scary. I know, it's hurtful, very hurtful, but it's supposed to be scary.
I'm scared.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it is. I mean, heck, I can remember watching the original animated Snow White in the theater because my grandmother took my sister and I,
Mm-hmm.
and it was when Disney and other movie studios would re-release certain movies, and I can remember being scared when the evil queen turned into the witch.
Mm-hmm.
So this article goes on to say, I'm being so serious. I watched it once. Okay, I don't believe her then. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. Oh, give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
She then said, so I watched it for the time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film. Zegler previously teased this change in definition while speaking with Variety at D23 as well. When asked why she described the film as having a modern edge, she explained, I just mean it's no longer 1937. The book wasn't written in 1937. Yes, the animated feature came out in 1937, but the book was written prior to that, years before that.
And even before the book, it was still, because Grimm, the brothers Grimm, collected these stories out there.
Mhm.
And they didn't necessarily have that happy ending that everyone's used to Disney doing. And and these fairy tales were also stories to just like Star Trek and all that, to make you think and be concerned, beware of strangers and things like that. There was it was a multitude layers of stuff like Aesop fables and such.
Yeah.
But these people don't understand that crap.
Yeah, they don't. And Marvel, serious tone before. Star Wars, serious tone. People died. And even in these fairy tales, I'm quite sure they had some characters that died. They weren't going to do, not that I'm saying what Disney did was wrong with Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast and other stuff, but, even Beauty and the Beast had a darkness side to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is one. And of course, this isn't exactly a fairy tale per se, but Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid, since that's in the news again.
Yes.
She doesn't get the guy at the end. She fades away.
Yep. Well,
because he goes with the other one. But they had to make it all nice and happy ending because, well, this is a Disney film. We can't have Ariel just...
It's a Disney film, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look what happened to Lion King. There was death. Yes.
Yeah.
There was?
Look what happened to Bambi. There was death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Finding Nemo. Guess what?
Yes.
We don't know what happened to Nemo's mom.
No, we don't.
She got it.
Yeah. So it goes on to say, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White. You didn't write Snow White. You looked at the source material and went, like a lot of Hollywood nowadays, and went, we don't need this. What? Source material for Snow White, source material for Star Wars, source material for Doctor Who, source material for Star Trek. Guess what? In the modern Hollywood, they don't use it because they disrespect it time and time again.
Like this young, whatever.
And Godot interjects by saying she's not going to be saved by the prince. Oh, okay, so bite the poison apple and wake yourself up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Zegler continued. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming a leader. She knows she can be the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. What does that sound like, guys? What does that sound like?
The force is female.
Stunning and brave.
They already were brave. All the dwarves, Sleepy, all the different ones, they all had their own different personalities. Disney used to care about these things. It doesn't matter if they change some things in the novels, it happens, but they all had their personalities. That's why people will go back and watch this over and over again. Same with Rescuers. You can go down the list. Same with stuff like Robin Hood. Everybody had their own personalities.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. Little Dinklage was out there whining. This is insulting to short people. What about the Seven Dwarves was insulting?
Yeah.
They worked in a mine, gaining diamonds. They had a nice little cottage, and each one had its own personality. Mm-hmm. Each one of them had one. That's all.
They did.
They were treated like human beings.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
And hello to Phil McCracken, who says, I really hate these three. They give me a tummy ache. And the bum Cash Money
Oh, man.
replace Cash Money with
Remember,
Anonymous. Justice for
and-
Anonymous.
and
Okay, for
he
anyone
said,
who's new here, and we might have some new people watching, but Bill McCracken, he's a good friend of the channel, but he likes to
Oh.
give us all a hard time.
everybody,
Whoa.
And
What's this good in friend?
right?
and he's going to be our guest this Sunday on the Sunday edition of Pop
And-
Talk.
Oh no!
I'm hoping instead he needs to change the S to an A and the bum Cash Money. Come on, Phil. I expect better.
Snow White doesn't need no Prince Cash Money.
Of course she does.
man.
She's got to go out and do her. She needs cash money for those spending sprees. And by the way, Phil.
From Kraken, worst troll ever.
Yep. He certainly likes to beat that bush, man.
Whoa!
No. Not the bush you're talking about, man. Don't get crazy.
Okay. Are you sure about that, Cash?
Yes.
But anyways, Ziegler said she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, that her father told her she can be. And it goes on to say, so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in. Ziegler concluded, yeah, just let them watch the original animated film.
Yes.
And what do we make of the new definition that the Walt Disney Company will use for the fairest of them all? It's going to be like everything else Disney right now. It's going to tank. If you want my honest opinion, the movie's going to crash and burn.
This movie's gonna suck.
What? Well, I know that there's problems. It always brings me back to my brother said, all right, let's check out this live action version of Beauty and the Beast. He watches 5 minutes of it. And what does he say? They've changed everything. And he click. I mean, this is a guy who has loved Disney for a number of years, just like me. But once again, my brother understands that when they do these things that are not right, they can do this stuff. But when they aggravate people who love the animated movie, it's not a good sign. I think Beauty and the Beast did make good money when it came out, though.
It did. It did.
It
That's why
did.
you urge them to keep doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. But once again, I will say this: you don't want to go with the source material, but you want to, and you then go and make something very entertaining. Okay, I don't want to just, but also you should follow somewhat of a formula. It's the same thing with the whole thing of what is it, Halo? It's like you don't show his face. I don't care if this is canon or not. You don't show his face. That's very disrespectful to Master Chief in general. But they just keep disrespecting their own material that they've made. It makes no sense.
Because they don't care about the source
They don't
material.
care.
They've proven it
Not
time and
enough.
time again.
Yeah.
No, they'll take little pieces and they'll be, oh, look, guys.
Oh yeah, well, we threw you a little crumb of the original story, but then everything else around it, it's our own making,
Mhm.
and that's why it's not going to have staying power.
No.
There's a reason why Snow White is known as a timeless classic because of its story. That story had staying power. It still has staying power.
Yes.
But when you have someone, it's not just Rachel Ziegler, but anyone currently in Hollywood who doesn't care about the original source material in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
they're not gonna really care what stone the story as long as they see the talking points that I'm not making an apology for saying this, that they're all being programmed to spout out each and every time they're in an interview. Diversity, inclusion, stunning and brave, whatever.
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
I'm stunning. I'm brave. So there.
Mhm.
Well, you do call yourself a Pop Talk diversity hire.
Right now I'm on probation.
Probation. And once again, if they do a lot of this stuff right, even with a live action, though I don't think any of these live action movies should be made, but if they're so gung ho about it, then follow a lot of the source material and see what happens. I guess they did a pretty good job with Beauty and the Beast, and I don't know. I never watched the Lion King one, but I know a lot of people like that Jungle Book one. I've never really watched it, but did you guys watch it?
No.
I actually did watch the live action Jungle Book, and I actually liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good. Now, my preference is still the animated film.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good. I did watch Aladdin. I actually rented it on Amazon when it was available to be rented on there. And I watched it. This lacks what the animated film had. The animated film had charm.
Mm-hmm.
And the live action one lacks that charm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just proved a point to me that there are certain animated features that don't need to be adapted into live action.
Well, they don't care enough, and they always want to change things, and it seems to always be the attitude, I'm going to do this better. Are you, though? Are you sure? Really?
I mean, the only thing you could do better is if they went out there and with new technology and make it look better. But the story is when the stories are timeless, you just make it that story and make it look great.
Yeah. I don't see what happens. Okay, I want to do a live action version of this. See what happens and follow it. It worked with something with Alita. Now, there's other times it doesn't work when they follow the source material going to live action, but it also depends how they have the characters.
Right.
You don't have to copy. I've had this argument with a few people. The comic book, for example, is already made, so why would I want to see it on the big screen? And it's like, why not? But you can change a few things, but following a lot of the source material, I think people would appreciate that. Why not give it a try and see what happens? It worked with Alita. It can work. So,
yeah.
If you're a creator who has respect for the original source material, you'll put whatever effort you need to put in to make the live action version as faithful to the original source as possible. I mean, look at the recent news with the live action One Piece, where the creator of One Piece said no to Netflix about the way they were doing it. And he pretty much demanded that they go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Yep. And even one of the biggest channels, I just heard about it recently, that covers One Piece and calling this trailer trash. Everybody in the comments section, we're talking to like over 200 comments, said, dude, you're being unfair. And it says this actually looks a lot like the anime. So we'll see what happens. But you have the creator involved. That I always think that's important. It's the same with Cowboy Bebop. It's like, look, yes, these guys are older, and yes, Spike should be 25. They should have got a 25-year-old because he's about 25 years old in the anime. But
and he should have been German.
Yeah, right. But they went with these different things, and then when Faye Valentine came in, it's like she just destroyed everything. Jet and Spike were like, okay, this is okay. The first episode. Then it just went downhill when she came in. It's like because she was acting like that's not Faye Valentine's character. She does complain like other characters in there. She usually has a good reason for it, but they go with this woman, and she's supposed to be from Singapore, since they're always want representation. All these different studios lately, especially the last few years, it just doesn't make any sense. They just didn't have to do that. And so you look at Snow White, you look at stuff like Beauty and the Beast, where they changed some things. You look at stuff like Little Mermaid, little different scenes. You go, I don't. If this movie people are liking this direction, then you're going to make money. But obviously, there's problems now. So, yeah.
Yep. And I really don't have anything more to add to it. Do you, Baron?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do have something I want to add to that. No problem at all. My thought about all this and what they're doing out there is this.
It stinks.
That's about it. Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to our next story here. Let me just make sure I share the proper window. All right. So a new Warhammer 40K game has been announced. This article comes from comicbook.com. I'm going to go ahead and paste the link to the article into the chat in case anybody would like to read it and not have to worry about me stumbling through everything.
That's fun.
Maybe for some people.
For me.
But here we go. Yeah. For you, for Cash. But here we go with this article. It was posted on the 22nd. It's by Christian Hoffer. It says Games Workshop will release Combat Arena Lair of the Beast later this year. A new Warhammer 40K game is on the way, featuring a long-lost miniature from a popular but out-of-print game. Games Workshop has announced Combat Arena Lair of the Beast, a new standalone Warhammer 40K game. The game features players controlling one of several unique Warhammer 40K characters in a dangerous battle in the middle of Ambu Lair. The game will feature a number of classic miniatures, including several from Warhammer Quest Blackstone Forest, notably Combat Arena Lair of the Beast pulls the Ambu from the dreaded Ambu expansion of the Blackstone Fortress, which has been out of print for several years. This marks the third Combat Arena game published by Games Workshop, although Lair of the Beast is the first to feature an NPC monster to deal with, excuse me, in addition to other players. The Combat Arena games help serve as an introduction of sorts to the world of Warhammer 40K, along with teaching players how to build and paint miniatures on their own. The Warhammer 40K franchise has been growing steadily, with a new edition of its core game driving new players and interest to the game. Unlike previous editions, the core rule set and unit stats were made available for free to all players online, adding some additional accessibility to fans. Additionally, Amazon recently announced plans to launch a Warhammer 40K live action franchise with Henry Cavill helping to oversee the project. Combat Arena Lair of the Beast will be released later this month exclusively at Barnes & Noble in North America and Mueller, Italia, Elbenwald, and GameStop in Germany. No price has been announced. So what do you think about that news, Baron?
It'll be interesting to see. One of the problems I have with Games Workshop, especially when it comes around, one of the problems I do have with them is they throw something like this out and it goes away fast. Same thing with their novels that they have for the Black Library, and even when it comes around the rules, it's like every 2 years now it seems like, oh, we got new rules now, so you have to go out and buy this $60 to $80 book. They keep on playing. Well, of course, you can get the rules online, which this one won't. Obviously, as they said in the story there. But that's one of the problems I do have with Games Workshop in that aspect is it's like work more with what you got and make sure people who are trying to keep up aren't inundated, because now you got to get the new codexes if you're playing a certain army. It's like, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I have to take a look a little bit more about this, but it's nice that they're bringing back, some stuff that is no longer around.
Yeah, it is. And when I saw the story, I was thinking, well, of the three of us, Baron's the Warhammer 40K expert. So
Yeah.
if there's anyone who might be interested in talking about this along with us, it's Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
you're talking, yeah. When you're talking about something that has such a big, huge, giant, rich lore, because it, basically it's 10,000 years of history that you have with the Warhammer from the Horus Heresy to basically the 13th Black Crusade by Abaddon, and now of course the universe is split. They brought these ridiculous.
Oh,
Oh, he just roboted.
yep, you did.
He just roboted there for a little bit, Baron.
How am I now?
You're good.
You're good now.
Okay, robot.
The
No, but they
mhm.
brought in these ridiculous Primaris Marines here. I mean,
Well, they also
And now Cash just roboted.
I just wrote
You guys getting an update or something?
Yeah.
A firmware update?
Yeah.
Actually, I had to have an update.
Okay. I was just gonna add that Games Workshop has not only censored streams that were playing their games, and people have had videos on this, and they're also willing to pander, and that's too. And their games are always up and down, and like Deathwing came out, it was a mess. It just like some of these ports, they've been a mess. And they could do better on some things.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you talk about the video games, that's kind of the thing because it's usually they're going to a third party that's playing around with that one. But they knocked it out of the park with Space Marine game. Hopefully, Space Marine 2 is going to be good. That bolt gun looks absolutely fantastic. So in the video game aspect, but again, they don't support them. And, it's just like, okay, we put them out there, and now it never. I mean, just like their spaceship combat they had, Gothic, the Fleet Gothic or whatever it was called again. I got a mental block right now, but it's like they had it, now it's gone. And it's like that sounds like something they're going to keep on going, give Starfleet Battles and some of the other ones a little bit more of a run for the money, but no, they just kind of drop and run.
And it's a shame that companies do that,
And Games Workshop is incredibly notorious for that. So
now let me ask you this: who's worse, Wizards of the Coast or Games Workshop?
Wizards.
Wizards, because Games Workshop doesn't do some of these stupid things that you look at the Lord of the Rings nonsense, for example. I mean, they can do all the stuff they want. They can whatever they want to do it, whatever. But they need to understand that you're going to do this stuff, you're going to get backlash, and you going out and calling people names and attacking fans that have actual legitimate criticism is just quite funny to me. But that's Wizards of the Coast used to be great, Mike. Great.
Oh, they used to be.
Great. The cards, people played that game for hours and hours and hours and hours. Tournaments, I mean, there's still some, because it's just the tapping stones, the cards, just they're really cool, and it was a well developed game. Excuse me. My dad met the creator many years ago. I think in the 90s. He was at one of those gaming conventions, so played a game with him and stuff.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I remember the first experience. Basically, the game had just come out, and I was at what they call MiniCon, which was over the Easter, which is usually over Easter in the Twin Cities here. And I ran into somebody I know, and he goes, "Hey, come over here. Take a look at this." It's like, what? Look at this. This is a great new game. You got to get into this. It's called Magic the Gathering, and blah blah blah. Yada. You going through the whole thing. It's like, okay, yeah, that's nice. And I just kind of politely walked on. And imagine what would happen if I would have gotten sucked into that back then.
Yeah. I don't think I agree with Janet. It's not worth it to buy their products anymore.
No.
I know it's mean to say that about any company, but they just keep going in the wrong direction. I'm not interested in any of the new Magic cards. I just don't care. What they are doing with the Lord of the Rings series is just stupid to me.
Oh God, yeah. It's like,
And I
yeah,
do want to say hello to Janet from another planet. It's good to see you, Janet.
hi,
And
Janet.
she will be one of our guests next Wednesday.
Yay! Cash didn't scare her off. I like that.
And Baron didn't scare her off either.
I'm glad I didn't scare her off.
Mhm.
Of the three of us, I could end up scaring people off.
You scared me.
Yeah.
But you're still here, Baron. You're still here.
I'm still here. You know why I'm still here?
He's waiting for his back pay.
Yeah, that too. My back pay and this.
I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
We need that pain, man.
Right, right.
Yes.
No, he's waiting for that day I catch up for Pop Talk for a couple of weeks and he gets to take over. See, he's not denying it.
Oh, it's fun. Mutiny is fun on this channel, is it not, Baron? We love our mutiny, dude.
You know it.
You know it,
know we love it. We love it. We love it so much.
The best. Waving that pirate flag, dude.
Woo!
Hey, anybody got some fish? We got an orca sighting.
Cash scares Phil. Yep.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a good thing. I'm not gonna say it's bad.
Where's Grimlock? You want Grimlock? I could give you Grimlock crit. Give me a second. I'm not gonna change my name, but I'll change my avatar.
Uh-oh.
Lord Crit wanted me Grimlock. Me Grimlock now host a show.
Oh.
Welcome to Grimlock Pop Talk.
Very good. Yeah.
How do you like that, Crit?
He loves it. Can't you see his little flipper going nuts?
No, I can't. I can't see it going nuts.
Well, fine. Be that way. Just fine. See what I care.
Me Grimlock no jealous, you jealous. And Janet does say pirates are fun.
Yep.
Well, if there's ever a future edition of Pirate Talk, I'm sure Baron and Cash will send out an invitation.
Yes.
But just know that Captain be lurking nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll think
Captain Dead Bones.
Well, yeah, we'll sink your dinghy.
Well, you guys try to do that, and this is gonna be my response to you guys doing that. And no, it's not gonna be the clip that you think it's gonna be, Baron. It's not the extinctions to all traders clip, not at all. It's gonna be a certain clip because, well, you two will have no honor.
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
Well, yeah. We'll still fight, though. Oh, no.
I'm Gorlock. Hi, everybody. I'm Gorlock.
All right. You know, Baron, I told you I would do this one day when you did that.
I love it.
Gorlock versus Grimlock. I like that.
Me Grimlock no like Gorlock. Me Grimlock Dinobot leader.
Please.
It's a pretty good title, actually, Crit, for a new Pirates movie. But we have to be careful about how much attention we give to McCracken. So, yeah.
The secret of Captain McCracken. Just throw a Buster Bar in front of him. He'll calm down.
Here you go.
It's not Captain McCracken. Come on, it's not crack Captain. No Captain to that.
I'm glad to know Janet wants to join our pirate crew, Baron. Yeah.
You're more than welcome to join.
That's right.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is more than welcome to join anytime.
Hush you.
What?
Catch and I are the ones that are simping over here. Come on.
Right.
No, whoever wants to join, man, we're happy to have quality people in the pirate crew. Are we not, Baron?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right. Now, Phil, he is the Kraken, so don't we have to use spears?
Yeah.
Well, why can't we just sail away from him? He won't be able to
True.
catch us.
That's
Come
true.
sail away. Come sail away. Sorry. I kind of got a little river Styx going there.
No.
Yes, Picard season 3. Don't remind me, Crit. And hello to TCAP Steve. Good to see you.
Petrol.
I'll give you petrol, rabbit. Yes. Even Loki the other day gave me a hard time because they were talking about the Transformers narrator on Monday, and I happened to mention the name of the narrator in chat. And Loki's all, you would know that, Pacific.
Mm-hmm. And with a heavy sigh too. It's like, yeah, you would know that. Yeah, you would know that.
Hooks and bait will work.
Yes.
Now it's getting interesting.
Oh my. But speaking of classic 80s cartoons.
Oh
no. Yeah.
Yes. Look at this news from last week.
Mm-hmm.
Cowabunga, dudes!
The best of the Turtles. Though the first two movies were fun, and the 2007 animated one was pretty good too.
The best of the Turtles is DJ Ronnie.
Oh,
and
DJ Ronnie G. Oh, his turtle.
Yeah,
yes.
his turtle, yeah.
DJ Ronnie G and his 3 Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm. That breathe through their butt.
It's true.
It's true. Yeah,
it's interesting.
I would never lie to you.
The more you know, man. The more you know.
Oh, are you sure? Thank you so much. Yeah.
And Steve, you could fit in here on Pop Talks. So what I'm seeing is someone needs to become a master of baiting.
Steve. We see what you did there, dude.
There we go. Yeah.
You saw that Family Guy clip recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
See what you did there, Stevie boy.
And Chris saying cowabunga, dude. It's dude.
Dude.
Can't wait to see Seth Rogen's teenage wokeness social justice turtles.
That's right.
Reddit mayhem.
It's pretty funny. Great.
I ain't seeing it.
Nope. No. There's too many changes, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of some of the art style.
So this article was posted on Superhero Hype on the 21st of this month, and it says the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series that ran from 1987 to 1996. Good luck with any current shows, whether they're animated or live action, running that long anymore.
Yeah,
probably not.
Is officially headed to Nickelodeon. Per Variety, the Paramount-owned Nickelodeon, current owner of the TMNT franchise, has secured the global rights to the original 80s television series produced by Fred Wolf Films. This development comes ahead of the theatrical release of Nickelodeon and Paramount's new animated feature film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, next month. Or it's probably... When does it release? Let me look at my calendar here. I think it releases the second week of August, if I'm not mistaken.
Run away.
Yeah, you might as well. It says under the new deal, which was announced at San Diego Comic-Con, Nickelodeon has access to all 193 episodes of Fred Wolf's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. These episodes will debut digitally in the United States later this month via platforms like Nickelodeon's YouTube channel, its Pluto TV channel, and its owned and operated linear channels. Nickelodeon branded channels and digital platforms will begin distributing the episodes internationally at a later date. Says the legacy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on TV. Based on the comic book of the same name, created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon was one of the defining animated series of the 80s and 90s. The show initially aired on first run syndication before finding a home at CBS, starting with season 4 in 1990. 10 seasons were produced in total. A reboot animated series, excuse me, of the same name subsequently aired on Fox and the CW for 7 seasons from 2003 to 2009. It was also in 2009 that Laird sold the TMNT franchise to Nickelodeon's parent company. Eastman had previously sold his share of the franchise to Laird in 2000. A second reboot series premiered on Nickelodeon in 2012. It aired for 5 seasons through 2017. Nickelodeon's most recent reboot, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, aired for 2 seasons from 2018 to 2020. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem opens in theaters on August 2nd. Okay, so next week.
I know what I won't be seeing.
No, and honestly, this is great if you're, a parent who's in their 30s or even their 40s, and you want to introduce your young ones to the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if you haven't done so already. Now, granted, the original 87 series has been available on DVD for quite some time, and yes, I'm not ashamed to say it, I have all 10 seasons.
It's awesome.
Physical media. It's
Yep.
like I said to you the other day, Cash, as long as they don't change the episodes because it doesn't meet modern sensibilities. And by change, meaning cutting out a scene or altering the scene.
Well, I'm sure it's going to happen because they put those damn warnings in front of the Muppet Show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
What is to be what about the Muppet Show do you have to put these warnings? Oh, you might be offended by this. What, that a frog's that a pig is trying to screw a frog? Is that what I mean, honestly.
You know, maybe it's because I'm from a different generation and grew up in a different time, but I had no problem watching the Muppet Show as a kid with my parents. My parents didn't, you know, get upset about the Muppet Show. They knew what the Muppets were about.
Yeah.
Jim Henson's Muppets, not Disney's Muppets.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a kids show.
No.
The Muppets wasn't a kid show. But it was more of a family show where everybody could watch it and enjoy it, no matter what your age was.
Yes.
Especially when you think about the different guests that they had on,
Mm-hmm.
the different skits.
Oh my! And you want to know something about the Muppet Show too? No one ever came back as a guest on there. It was always a fresh face. They never had a repeat.
Yeah. And you know what? It served the show for the better, in my opinion, by doing it that way. Instead of having repeat guests, a new, fresh guest each and every week.
Yeah. You had Steve Martin, you had Vincent Price, you had Alice Cooper. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
talk about the dichotomy right there between from one end to the other. Rita Moreno, you had on there. Mark Hamill in Luke Skywalker, his cousin, and the droids. I mean, it went all over the place with the various guest stars, and it was entertaining because of that, because each one brought their own flavor for people to enjoy. It wasn't
Exactly, and
stagnant.
that's what you need.
Mhm. I, I
But
mean, they tried to bring back with the Muppets, that one TV show where we're going to try to do a dramedy type of thing. No, if you're going to do Muppets, bring it back as the freaking Muppet Show.
mhm, if you're gonna do it right.
Right. Mhm.
No cheap imitation.
No, no, not like me. Not no cheap imitations like me when I do this. We don't want cheap imitation. We want the real thing. Or when I do
Yeah.
this, here's another cheap imitation. I don't know who I'm imitating. I don't know.
I don't know. Some guy.
Some guy.
Yeah, some
He's not
guy.
here to defend himself. He fell asleep on the keyboard again. Look at that. It's oh,
Uh,
he
poor
I'm
came
here,
right.
Cashman.
man.
I mean, you know what? He's neglecting his good friend Phil McCracken. Phil's asking, "Where's his Babylon 5?" Well, you know what? Speaking of Babylon 5, let's
Woo!
go ahead and move into this story here.
Woo!
Oh,
Last week, we talked about the complete series being released on Blu ray. And this week, we're talking about Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski inking a deal with Dark Horse Comics. Of course, this was posted on the 21st last week. The scribe will work on creator owned projects for the publisher. J. Michael Straczynski is getting into business with Dark Horse Comics. And before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the link to this article into the chat. It's also in the description. So if you want to read it on your own, you can.
Yeah.
So let me just do the last one. And there we are. And here we go. All right. So it says J. Michael Straczynski is getting into business with Dark Horse Comics. Straczynski will launch various creator owned work with the publisher that will span graphic novels, miniseries, and ongoing series. Straczynski is a veteran of the genre space. On TV, he created Babylon 5 and co created Netflix Sense8 with the Wachowski brothers. In comics, he has penned runs on The Amazing Spider Man, Spider Man and Captain America. And in the feature film space, he has worked on World War Z, Thor, and Changeling. According to Straczynski, Dark Horse boss Mike Richardson has given him the mandate to write whatever he wants.
Oh boy.
First up will be an international geopolitical thriller that bends science fiction with the superhero genre in a way we really haven't seen before. It's going to be a huge story with massive global and personal stakes. Straczynski, in his statement, this will be balanced by individual character stories designed to challenge the tropes of the superhero genre, building on what I did with books like Supreme Power, Midnight Nation, and Rising Stars, and taking it to the next level. It goes on to say he will also delve into other genres. There will be titles in the modern dark fantasy and historical fantasy genres, along with lines of Neil Gaiman's chivalry, also from Dark Horse, said the scribe. Stories about strong characters that are challenging and fun, not nihilistic or too terribly dark. To that end, I am proud to be a part of the Dark Horse family of writers, artists, and other near do wells. Richardson added in his own statement, I've known Joe and have been a fan of his work for years. He had great success as a writer in both comics and television, and I'm very excited he's decided to bring his latest creator owned projects to Dark Horse. We're all looking forward to seeing what he's got up his sleeve, we know it's going to be something special. The announcement comes as Straczynski's animated feature Babylon 5, The Road Home, prepares to screen at San Diego Comic-Con Saturday, or that was last week. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
2023 is the year of Straczynski, whether he knows it or not, because the Blu-ray was a big surprise to him. He didn't know about, but of course the animated, and if that goes good, we'll see more animated. He's working on still working on the Babylon 5 reboot. He says, well, with the strike going on, no, nothing's going on, but after the strike, we'll see. So he says it's just on the back burner. It has not been, and I'm nervous about it big time. I mean, even when you have your creators going back to redo what they originally did, it's like, boy, that's going to be really, really hard to top that. And now this comic deal. I mean, he is, very much a comic book writer as well as anything else. People don't know this. He actually wrote a Star Trek comic in the DC run.
I didn't know it.
Yep. So, technically, J. Michael Straczynski is a Star Trek writer as well as anything else.
Mm-hmm. Did you read that particular issue, Baron?
I have it somewhere in my collection here, but yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
at the time, nobody really knew who J. Michael Straczynski was because Babylon 5 hadn't come out.
no, and also at the time, television credits as far as J. Michael Straczynski was concerned that come to mind were him writing for He-Man and She-Ra.
Yeah, and he also did Captain Power. He also did the new Twilight Zone he did Murder, She Wrote. He wrote Murder, She Wrote. So, I mean, he was all over the place.
Well, I wish him the best of luck in his new comic book stories in the comic book run. I hope it's successful. And you know what? I'm also hoping for. Yeah, he's working on original works, but I would love to see a new Babylon 5 comic.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, that universe is huge. I mean, you can take it and go 100 years in the future and see how things have gone. I mean, they kind of did. I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but they kind of did that in the original series, but only briefly. But you don't have to, obviously this is the catalyst where you can spin off and go to other areas and see how things are faring. What happened with the Centauri? What happened with the Minbari? What happened with the Narn? The Vorlons were saying that the Narn and the Centauri were a dying race. So what became of them? Even within 100 years. So, and of course, there's so much you can do to play with that universe, without even touching Babylon 5 itself, or the main cast on there, the main characters, and it would still be freaking good.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why, but he is so against continuing on the Crusade story. And this would be a perfect avenue for him to do that, but for some reason I think that hurt him a lot what TNT did, and I think Crusade would have actually been even a better series than Babylon 5. What they're gearing up for.
You can understand if he has some sort of animosity or resentment towards TNT's decision to cancel the show and
get involved and tell him what to do, which he hates. But what was nice about the Crusade was he was breaking the trope where it all, I think it was going to be 5 seasons if it went outright. And he wasn't looking for the cure for the Drakh plague for the full 5 seasons. In fact, they find it earlier, but it opens up more events. So it's great that, unlike Voyager, where you had that trope where we're lost in space for 7 years, this was going to break those tropes and go into different areas. And, you'd see the strained relationships and such like that between characters as things come to light. It hurts me that it was never done. I'd love to see it. It's like, Joe, if anything, give what you had planned to Peter David and let him write the books.
Mm-hmm.
Because Peter David is a good writer, a good writer for Babylon 5. Do it.
Yeah.
Even an animated series.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Depending on how successful the Babylon 5 animated movie is, you might see follow-up animated movies in the Babylon 5 universe that could possibly include Crusade.
Right. I mean, he's constantly asked about it, so he knows people have a love for the show, even though it was crashed and burned early. It was canceled before it was even aired. I mean, come on. But yeah, it just let's rock, man. There's people that you can trust.
Yeah. I mean, Cass, you've said it numerous times. You hadn't watched Babylon 5 before now, and you're watching it now, and you're enjoying the series.
Yep, I'm enjoying it so far. We're on season 3. Yep.
Don't say too much because we do have the McCracken there. He's gonna start whining again.
I know. Where's my Babylon 5? I know.
Well, see, that's what's great about the series, where a group of friends can get together, not only watch the series, but also discuss it like we've done on Crit's channel.
Mm-hmm. And we're doing this on Saturday, right, Crit?
Yeah, if you're still there, Crit, confirm or deny whether we're going to review the last few episodes of, season 1
Come
this
on,
Saturday.
Crit. Where are you? Don't hide. He's
Come on, Chin Car wants to know.
Yeah, not only that, I think he's going after a lone seal right now, or an otter.
Yes.
Like,
And I want to say hello to Tim's Talk, who we were both doing it.
Yep.
Cash Money in the house, yo.
Oh, sure. Of all the people, he gives a yo out to the guy who's always late.
Not always late. I'm usually on time, so.
Usually,
yeah. Usually.
How
you doing, Tim?
You're usually there.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You guys should know that Crit and I watched the first episode of Futurama, and it was actually pretty funny.
Oh, the new one?
Mm-hmm.
It's out already?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it came out Monday.
I gotta watch it. Oh, I
pretty good.
Watch it. I have access to Hulu. I gotta watch it. That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That is good to hear.
Yes. Hopefully it'll continue in that direction, but yeah. They were taking shots at the writers, and yeah.
Oh, good. Well, maybe you have shots taken,
Trust me.
They were making fun of Hulu too, so they called it Fulu. It was run by robots. Yeah.
As long as they don't change the way Futurama was, they would take shots at everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. They took some shots. Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, and be intelligent too. I mean, I don't want them to. It was called one of the most intelligent science fiction comedies out there because they're throwing in all this scientific jokes that a lot of people didn't get. Until it was pointed out. It's like, they're talking about this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to bring up Slurp, and you're going to see Calculon, and
Calculon 2.0.
Baron. Yes, they're going to bring back. I'll just tell you a little bit. They're going to bring back Robot Hell, which is still ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got to bring back Robot Hell and the Robot Devil.
Yeah.
They gotta. Yeah.
There's some funny stuff. Bender's got some good lines, of course, still. So
always, yeah. I mean, and it's good that he got back. So he came back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you need the cast for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You need the original voice acting cast. Somebody else stepping in and doing the role of Bender. I'm sorry, it wouldn't work because everybody would go, nope, that's not Bender.
Right.
I can put it on after the show if you guys want. Discord, it's all good.
Yeah, Well, we can see.
Good.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind
Yeah,
watching it again.
wow. That is right there. Hey, Phil, you see that? He's picking Futurama over Babylon 5, Phil. You hear that?
Uh-oh. I think you're gonna set Phil off, Cash, by saying that.
Oh well, it's all right.
There's going to be that angry no
I'm
more
not.
Is.
I'm not at his beck and call when it's time for Babylon 5. So.
Oh, yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. But yeah, it has been enjoyable, and Crit's been wanting to watch it with us again. And then Crit's like, I will tell Crit, hey, we're gonna watch. Phil needs to catch up and watch some Babylon. No, I would rather you guys wait for me. All right, fine. I'm like, but you've seen these episodes already, man. But it's fine. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't matter how many times you see an episode of a great show. You can watch it over and over again, and you might even notice something in the episode you didn't notice your first few hundred times of watching.
And Futurama is one of those shows.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the hidden Easter eggs they put in the background, or sometimes it's in the foreground, but it's in a spot where maybe your eyes aren't locked into that particular corner of the screen. They're locked on to what Leela and Fry are talking about, or Bender.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss my shiny metal ass.
Dr. Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
It's not even Pop Talk even. Okay, I know that was more Kermit. I'm sorry. I gotta practice my Zoidberg. Good news, everyone.
There, you do him good. There we go. You do that one good.
Yeah, some voices I can do okay. Other voices, it's like, Mike, why did you even try?
Mike Arnold.
True. But yeah, I mean, Futurama, say what you will, even though the show's been canceled, 3 times before now?
Mm-hmm.
It's still one of those shows that I can watch every episode and still get a laugh.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had the crossover episode with The Simpsons, and Bart's mucus ended up creating another species thanks to the Springfield power plant's radioactive material, and it was wreaking havoc all over the future. And Bender's sent back to kill Bart.
Nothing wrong with that. Must kill the boy. Yeah.
Please don't be the boy. Please don't be the boy.
Yeah.
Why you little? But anyway,
kind of sounds like you after one of our shows. It's like with us. Why you little?
But moving on to this article from Anime News Network, it says Gundam Evolution game ends service on November 29th.
Mike, I'm not interested in this story. Can we just move along to something else? I mean, I just not interested in this.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, he's not interested, so he doesn't...
Help! I'm being repressed.
You're not interested in the story, so I figured, okay, you can take a time out.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Really got out of hand fast.
I really should consider taking away his power. Because you know what he's going to do? He's going to troll us with all the clips. I would.
How about no?
See, there it started, ladies and gentlemen. It has started.
It's great.
And this article from Anime News Network starts off by saying the official website for Bandai Namco Entertainment's Gundam Evolution free-to-play shooter game revealed on Wednesday of last week, that is, that the game will shut down and end service on November 29th.
The hell you say?
The heck? What the heck? I can't play that one. I can't play that one. You know, I am going to play this one.
You've got an issue. Here's a tissue.
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
You have people skills. Well, yeah, whatever. It says the game launched on PC via Steam in September 2022 and on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One in November 2022. The game is a free-to-play, team-based. Good luck getting a good team and using teamwork. First-person shooter featuring 6 versus 6 player versus player combat with evil coin currency available for real-world purchase. It featured a launch lineup of 12 playable units with more playable units added over the game's lifespan. Aside from the EVO coins, players can earn capital points as they play, which they can use to unlock mobile suits and cosmetic items. The game features 3 modes: point, capture, domination, and destruction.
I don't know who any of those people are.
and that's why you're not here for the article. So
lighten up, Francis.
No, I will not lighten up. I will not lighten up at all. Baron Orman Tag.
Oh,
that's right. Baron Orman Tag. But anyways, getting back to Gundam Evolution,
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to get under my skin, so I bring him back on. It's not going to work. Not this time, Baron.
One mic versus the clips.
Not this time. You're not going to bring out the Klingon side of me. I will use the logical side, the Vulcan side. But getting back to this article.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
He's having too much fun.
Yeah, he is.
But as far as this is concerned, I say good. The game had problems. Good luck at finding a good teammate, and good luck having your teammates even focus on the match at hand.
Yeah, if this is the one that they're talking about that I played a few times with some friends of mine on PlayStation, and I think this is the same one because it said it was for PS4 also, and I was like, oh, I think this, and it was pretty good. This is the free to play one, isn't it? There's so many of these Gundam games. Okay, yeah.
It's the one that came out last September, and I actually streamed it one time.
Ah, that one. Yes. Okay. So it's not.
And had fun streaming it.
Yeah.
And playing it that first day, but I tried playing it offline afterwards, and every time I was in a team and nobody wanted to work together. It's like, come on, let's work together.
Hey guys, we need to get to the command point. Nah, man, it's cool. We'll just beat up each other, but that's not the objective, and we're screwed. So we're gonna lose if you guys do that. Yeah, that's cool, man. I want to add up the counts, kill counts. Okay.
And DJ Ronnie G says, I never liked the single player training mode. I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
That game had problems. And he's changed his icon So I'm
Oh.
gonna bring him back in. Oh,
I'm
I'm
Batman.
scared. I'm
I told you.
scared.
I told you I was Batman. Did you hear that? I played it. I'm Batman.
You sure you weren't me when I finished up my Arkham Asylum streams?
I don't know. I'm Batman. Gonna start playing it.
So funny.
Batman. Batman.
Baron Norman Tag. He believes he's Batman.
Batman. I'm Batman.
Okay, Batman. Ooh, it's time to get a little serious.
Okay.
Okay.
It's time to get a little serious because we did lose some well-known celebrities, not just today, but also last Friday. We lost a great singer, great entertainer, great crooner, in Tony Bennett.
I left my heart in San Francisco. That was the big one. That was a really
That's the one that made him famous.
He was the youngest of all the crooners, and unfortunately, he is the last.
Yeah. Yeah. And this one, I think this one affects anyone who grew up listening to Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., just to name a few. You know, whether they're at their grandparents or their parents happened to listen to them, or they had friends who listened to these guys. You know, there's not going to be anyone like them. There's going to be a lot of imitators, but there's never going to be another Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, or Tony Bennett.
I think the closest we had was Frank Jr., and unfortunately, Frank Jr. is not around anymore.
Yeah. And Bobby Darin didn't have a long life either. And
Yeah, I don't.
He had those heart problems.
I think I think Frank. Yeah, he was funny in those episodes. Also, a Family Guy too. With Brian.
Yeah, he was.
And what was great was he was going around with a full band when he was performing. Like, but you don't see much anymore. So,
yeah.
And maybe you know it, or you may not know it. I don't know. But I thought I had read at one point that Ira Stephen Bear, Rick Berman, and those who were working on Deep Space Nine at the time for the role of Vic Fontaine, I thought they wanted Frank Sinatra Jr. at one point.
I think you are right, and there was something that prevented him.
Yeah. And then we got James Darren, who isn't bad. I'm not saying the guy's bad. He's not. He's not.
No. James Darren is very good. I mean,
yeah,
people like that was still doing it. Well, it's just like instead of Joe Pescomo, it's supposed to be Robin Williams in that one episode, Next Generation, where he was good comedian.
Yeah, and then of course there's that episode in later Next Generation when they wanted Robin Williams, but he just couldn't do it.
I think that one went to Matt Fuhrer.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Who's better known as Max Headroom. So, with this article from Variety, again, this is last Friday, Tony Bennett remembered by President Biden, Barack Obama, Elton John, and more. He's irreplaceable. And let me just make sure I copied and pasted the article to all the sites, and I did.
Yay.
So this article goes on to say President Joe Biden, former President Barack Obama, Elton John, and more stars paid tribute to Tony Bennett after his death on Friday morning, with John saying he's irreplaceable. And that's true. No truer words have ever been spoken.
Yep.
And excuse me. Bennett, whose professional career spanned 8 decades and who achieved a #1 album at age 85, died Friday morning in New York City. He was 96. President Biden released an official statement on Bennett's death. He wrote, "For more than 70 years, Tony Bennett didn't just sing the classics. He himself was an American classic. Resisting the pull to adjust his style to fit in with the times, his distinct voice gave melody and rhythm about the good life, how the best is yet to come, and the way you look tonight, and leaving your heart in San Francisco." Biden also commented on the historic moments that Bennett lived through and other icons he performed with for and collaborated sorry with throughout his career. He wrote, "There's no doubt about it. Tony Bennett's life was legendary, and his contributions to the arts in America will endure." Biden concluded the statement by writing, "Jill and I have been fans of Tony's music for a long time, not only because of his beautiful voice, but also the joy that he brought to everything he did. We send our deepest condolences to his family and fans around the world." Obama shared a tribute on both Twitter and Instagram, writing, "Tony Bennett was an iconic songwriter and entertainer who charmed generations of fans. He was," excuse me, I'm just gonna, sorry. Let's see. Who charmed generations of fans. He was also a good man. Michelle and I will always be honored that he performed at my inauguration. We're thinking of his wife Susan, his kids, and everyone who is missing him today. And it goes on to say, John, as in Elton John, who performed Rags to Riches with Bennett, shared his tribute via Instagram. He wrote, "Sad to hear of Tony's passing. Without doubt, the classiest singer, man, and performer you will ever see. He is irreplaceable. I loved and adored him. Condolences to Susan, Danny, and the family."
And he was suffering from dementia and
Hmm.
Alzheimer's for 7 years.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can remember watching the 2015 World Series between the Mets and the Royals. And it was when my mom, sister, and I went out to New Mexico. So my mom and were watching in the bar, and we both look at each other and say, "Tony's not looking so well."
Mhm. Yeah. As his wife was saying, is he was lost until you got him singing, and then Tony was back.
Hmm.
Is what she was saying. And I mean, when he did his duet with Billy Joel at the last play at Shea. I
Hmm.
mean, it's fantastic with that. I mean,
Yeah.
damn, he looked good.
It goes on to say that Amy Winehouse Foundation shared a photo of Bennett with the late Back to Black singer and tweeted, "Today marks the end of an era as we say farewell to Tony Bennett, a true star, a true gentleman, and a wonderful friend and mentor to Amy. Thank you for the music, Tony. Our love and heartfelt condolences to all his family and friends." Former late night host David Letterman shared a video of Bennett saying, "Everybody has the blues," and tweeted, "Rest in peace, Tony." Harry Connick Jr. wrote, "Rest in peace, Tony. You changed the world with your voice. Thank you for always being so kind to me. I love you and I'll miss you very much." In a statement, Rob Stringer, chairman of Sony Music Group, said, "There are a few people in life who could surpass the achievements of the legendary artist Tony Bennett. His biography reads like an inspiring and principled sociocultural history of nearly a century. His artistry in recording and performing will be admired forever." Stringer added, "Everyone at Sony Music Worldwide loved him, and we are now honored to represent his legacy." The marvelous Miss Maisel music supervisor Robin Erdang, excuse me,
Mhm.
shared I received a call this season from his label that management was asking if we can use the song of his in Maisel. We hadn't used any yet, and we're then determined to find a placement. So glad we did. Bennett's 1963 song, I Want to Be Around, was used in the show's series finale. Billy Joel shared on Instagram, Tony Bennett was one of the most important entrepreneurs of American popular song during the mid to late 20th century. He championed songwriters who might otherwise have remained unknown to many millions of music fans. The singer continued, his was a unique voice that made the transition from the era of jazz into the age of pop. I will always be grateful for his outstanding contribution to the art of contemporary music. He was a joy to work with. His energy and enthusiasm for the material he was performing was infectious. Joe concluded his tribute by writing that Bennett was also one of the nicest human beings I've ever known.
Yeah, there he is at the last play at Shea. That was a great that was a great concert movie.
Yeah.
Got that on DVD because the wife loves it, loves Billy Joel, and that was a great concert film. And Bennett being one of the people out there that made it great, honestly.
Yeah, he was. He was. Very much so. ASCAP president and chairman of the board, Paul Williams, said that ASCAP family mourns the passing of the legendary Tony Bennett. Tony was a spectacular singer with charismatic tone, equal parts grace and grit, and he knew how to inhabit a song. There was perhaps no greater champion of great songwriting. Williams continued, he spent 7 decades introducing the world to the great American songbook, reinterpreting it for new generations, and giving 100% with every unforgettable performance. Tony will never forget you, your voice, and your timeless recordings. You left our hearts in perfect rapture. Of course, then there were a few other tributes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, still Stevie Van Zandt, he was in there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And well, and the big thing is notice what they were sitting back saying. He took those songs, he just revamped them a little bit, but he kept the songs to what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And introduced them to a new generation.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
It just goes to show that you can take a piece of music, revamp it just a little bit, but keep it true to what it is. Why can't Hollywood do that with movies and TV shows? Obviously, it's not that hard for Tony Bennett to do it for 70 years.
I mean, for crying out loud, he has Amy Winehouse. He's got Lady Gaga. I mean, doing it with all these people that you would never even think that would be doing songs like this. Talk about how, this man, well, let's just say a bit of a genius on how he did things.
Yeah. And I do want to say hello to Anonymous. And yes, I am going to play the song because we know Phil's lurking.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
How you doing, Anonymous?
Anonymous.
I'm trying to behave with what he wrote.
Yeah, I know too. But this is where you gotta sit back and go.
Big man starts it.
Well, I mean, I know we don't want to say too much on YouTube because the algorithm.
I don't want to say too much on a tribute either. I mean,
no.
Time to remember him.
Yeah.
Not because I've made comments about cheap shots that were done for tributes. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, even however you feel about Lady Gaga or Elton John or whatever, it's still nice that they took time to make tributes to the man, and She sang with him 2 years ago, 1 year ago, something like that. A few years ago.
A few
Lady
years ago,
Gaga, yeah, it's a few
I
years
think-
ago.
Yeah, it's quite a few years ago. Yeah.
So, at least a few. So yeah, no, it's nice they make tributes. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And why not? This guy really, in some fashions made some, made it his own style. He wasn't Frank. He wasn't Dino.
No.
He wasn't Darren. He was Tony
Tony
Bennett.
Bennett.
Yeah.
Right. And, he wasn't some guy who was trying to be a knockoff. And he wasn't.
Mm-hmm. So I guess is this right? Well, at least according to YouTube, that I've definitely heard "Fly Me to the Moon." I've definitely heard that before. And then there was
Fly
another
me
one.
to the moon.
Oh yeah, I left my heart in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
that's his big song. I
That's
left
his.
my heart in San Francisco and a bowel moving in the street too. But no, sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Come on,
Well, that
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
that turned into something.
Well, that's where we have to sit back. That's why we got this one. It's been played before, but I mean, it's kind of you move things around on me. But
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
yeah, really, it did.
Baron. Do I have to kick you out a second time?
No. Why was I kicked out? Oh, I know. Now I remember why I was kicked out the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope Tony Bennett lasting as long as he did and working with some of these people out there in the industry. I hope he put a spark and a fire under this generation to know what music and real singers sound like, not auto-tuned, WAP, WAP, and whatever, and Lizzo flopping around on stage.
Garbage.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
it's just embarrassing. I know there's no. Yeah. Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga in 2021.
Yeah. 2021. Really? Okay. So he must still been in pretty good shape at that time, which is good to hear at least. I mean, you hear about people with the Alzheimer's, like, oh, how many years did they just lay there not knowing what's going on? So yeah, at least he has that. Thank God.
Well, like you had said, his wife had said that when he wasn't on stage, he was completely different. But when he was on stage, it was Tony again. That was the part. That was the part of his mind that was still. I'm trying to be careful how I say this, but that was the part of his mind that was still intact.
Right, and it's the one that you could at least get to him with. And Glenn Campbell was the same way. Glenn Campbell suffering from his dementia, Alzheimer's, and he did that final tour. And it's like it was like, who is this guy? Because of how he was. But the moment he got on stage and started singing, it was Glenn. Because that was so much a part of him. Just like singing for Tony Bennett, these things are so ingrained in there. That horrible disease, thankfully, didn't get rid of in cover up.
Yeah. He did duets with Judy Garland and oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the one with Amy Winehouse. Yeah. Well, Amy Winehouse, she's a tragedy in herself.
Oh, yeah, she's a tragedy.
Unfortunately, she's part of that 27 club.
Yeah. And she was also one of those where the press was literally almost rooting for her to OD. And when she did, then they started going out there and beating themselves and covering them and wearing the sackcloth and whining and crying. It's like, oh yeah, all the way up until the day she died, you're going, oh, she's gonna die of this, blah blah blah. Look at her, she's a junkie. Then she dies. Oh, it's a horrible thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just
sons of a bitches,
Well, it goes back to the whole thing of LL Cool J, who it was, when he was hosting the Grammys a number of years ago, and when that year it was Whitney Houston died, and I'm like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
I know you want to honor her and stuff, but can we tell the whole story? It doesn't help anybody that we tell half the story. That includes Chris Cornell, the lead singer of Alice in Chains. You can go down the list, including actors. Just it's a good idea to tell the whole story.
Right. Well, yeah, and sadly with Whitney, Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown should be just
Yeah.
out. I'm not going to say anything more because YouTube will get. But he's the one that poisoned her with that stuff. He's the one that was abusing her. He's the one that set her down that path because he's a scumbag, and he's around and she's not. That's a tragedy.
Yeah.
That's like when Eric Idle did his little poem for his album. He goes, "Oh Lord, why do you take Sonny and leave us Cher?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not paying tribute to those artists who have left us, as we learned today that Sinead O'Connor has passed away at the age of 56.
She's like 1.5, 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Or was, I should say, sadly.
And say what you will about Sinead O'Connor, she was an activist, and she was very, very headstrong in her beliefs, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
But I think it's safe to say that she was really bonkers, whatever.
Well, especially after her son passed away too. That didn't help matters.
Well, definitely not. No parent should outlive their children.
No.
Unless you get the poison mixture done right. What? Huh?
Wow, that's gosh. Sometimes you just can't take you anywhere, Baron. But it's all right.
No, nobody can take me anywhere. So honestly, just talk to my wife.
She basically, what was it? It was that one big hit in the 80s, or did she have more big hits? I think
it was actually in the 90s.
I mean, this is.
She became a sensation in the 90s.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and it was on her what they called her sophomore album, where she did what's it? Nothing Compares to You, which was written by Prince Rogers Nelson.
Oh,
and,
was it?
Yeah, and hearing they released his version of it not long after he died. And it's like, oh, that should be interesting. And I'm listening to that one and go, no, the Sinead O'Connor version was better. But I can tell you what, he didn't like her.
Yeah.
He didn't like her.
Well, there were people who didn't like her because of her being herself. She was herself. They didn't like that.
Yeah.
So this article comes from the Associated Press, and it says Sinead O'Connor, gifted, provocative Irish singer-songwriter, dies at 56. And this comes out of London. Sinead O'Connor, the gifted songwriter who became a superstar in her mid-20s and was known as much for her private struggles and provocative actions as for her fierce and expressive music, has died at 56. It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our beloved Sinead. Her family and friends are devastated and have requested privacy at this very difficult time, the singer's family said in a statement reported Wednesday by the BBC and RTE. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No cause was
problem when I
disclosed.
say BBC.
She was public about her mental illness, saying that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. O'Connor posted a Facebook video in 2017 from a New Jersey motel where she had been living, saying that she was staying alive for the sake of others and that if it were up to her, she'd be gone. When her teenage son, Shane, died by suicide last year, O'Connor tweeted that there was no point living without him and she was soon hospitalized. Recognizable by her shaved head and with a multi-octave mezzo soprano of extraordinary emotional range. O'Connor began her career singing on the streets of Dublin and soon rose to international fame. She was a star from her 1987 debut album, The Lion and the Cobra, and became a sensation in the 1990s with her cover of Prince's ballad Nothing Compares to You. A seething, shattering performance that topped charts from Europe to Australia and was heightened by a promotional video featuring the gray eyed O'Connor in intense close up. And I just need to clear my throat real quick. She was a lifelong nonconformist. She said she shaved her head in response to record executives pressuring her to be conventionally glamorous, but her political and cultural stances and troubled private life often overshadowed her music. A critic of the Roman Catholic Church, well before allegations of sexual abuse were widely reported, O'Connor made headlines in October 1992 when she tore up a photo of Pope John Paul II while appearing on NBC's Saturday Night Live and denounced the church as the enemy. The next week, Joe Pesci hosted Saturday Night Live, held up a repaired photo of the Pope and said if he had been on the show with O'Connor, he would have gave her such a smack. Days later, she appeared at an all-star tribute for Bob Dylan at Madison Square Garden and was immediately booed. She was supposed to sing Dylan's I Believe in You, but switched to a cappella version of Bob Marley's War, which she had sung on Saturday Night Live. Although consoled and encouraged on stage by her friend Chris Christopherson, she left him broke down and her performance was kept off the concert CD. Years later, Christopherson recorded Sister Sinead, for which he wrote, and maybe she's crazy and maybe she ain't, but so is Picasso and so are the Saints. She also feuded with Frank Sinatra over her refusal to allow the playing of the Star Spangled Banner at one of her shows and accused Prince of physically threatening her. In 1989, she declared her support for the Irish Republican Army, a statement she retracted a year later. Around the same time, she skipped the Grammy ceremony, saying it was too commercialized. In 1999, O'Connor caused uproar in Ireland when she became a priestess of the breakaway Latin Trinitine Church, a position that was not recognized by the mainstream Catholic Church. For many years, she called for a full investigation into the extent of the church's role in concealing child abuse by clergy. In 2010, when Pope Benedict XVI apologized to Ireland to atone for decades of abuse, O'Connor condemned the apology for not going far enough and called for Catholics to boycott Mass until there was a full investigation into the Vatican's role. People assumed I didn't believe in God. That's not the case. I'm Catholic by birth and culture and would be the first at the church door if the Vatican offered sincere reconciliation. She wrote in the Washington Post in 2010.
Hello? We lost him.
Nope.
No, I had to cough, so.
Oh, I was about to hoist the flag. Arr!
No. I had to cough, and I didn't want to cough in people's ear any more than I already have. O'Connor announced in 2018 that she had converted to Islam and would be adopting the name Shuda David. Later, Shuda Sadaquat. I probably mispronounced that. Although she continued to use Sinead O'Connor professionally, yeah, because that's what she's known by. That's her name. That's the name that gave her fame. So of course she's would have still gone by that name. Her music was loved around the world and her talent was unmatched and beyond compare. Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar said in a statement on social media, O'Connor was born on December 8th, 1966. She had, I don't know why I'm coughing so much. She had a difficult childhood with a mother she alleged was abusive and encouraged her to shoplift. As a teenager, she spent time in a church sponsored institution for girls where she said she washed priests' clothes for no wages, but a nun gave O'Connor her first guitar, and soon she sang and performed on the streets of Dublin. Her influences ranging from Dylan to Suxies and the Banshees. Her performance with a local band caught the eye of a small record label, and in 1987, O'Connor released The Lion and the Cobra, which sold hundreds of thousands of copies and featured the hit Mandikna. Driven by a hard rock guitar riff and O'Connor's piercing vocals, O'Connor, then 20 and pregnant, co produced the album. I suppose I've got to say that music saved me, she said in an interview with the Independent newspaper in 2013. It didn't have any other abilities, and there was no, sorry, there was no learning support for girls like me, not in Ireland at the time. It was either jail or music. I got lucky. Nothing Compares to You received 3 Grammy nominations and was the featured track on her acclaimed album. I do not want what I haven't got. And it says, which helped lead Rolling Stone to name her Artist of the Year in 1991. She proved that a recording artist could refuse to compromise and still connect with millions of listeners hungry for music of substance, the magazine declared. O'Connor's other musical credits included the albums Universal Mother and Faith and Courage, a cover of Cole Porter's You Do Something to Me from the AIDS fundraising album Red Hot and Blue, and backing vocals on Peter Gabriel's Blood of Eden. She received 8 Grammy nominations and in 1991 won the Best Alternative Music Performance. O'Connor announced she was retiring from music in 2003 but continued to record new material. Her most recent album was I'm Not Bossy, I'm the Boss, released in 2014, and she sang the theme song for season 7 of Outlander. The singer married 4 times, her union to drug counselor Barry Hurridge in 2011 lasted just 16 days. O'Connor had 4 children, Jake with her husband John Reynolds, Rosen with John Waters, Shane with Donald Lunny, and Yushua with Frank Bonanno. Let's see. In 2014, she said she was joining the Irish nationalist Sinn Féin party and called for its leaders to step aside so that a younger generation of activists could take over. She later withdrew her application. Ireland has lost one of our most powerful and successful singer-songwriter and female artists. Sinn Féin Vice President Michelle O'Neill said. And that's it for the article.
Mm-hmm.
And I do apologize for all the coughing I was doing. Like I said, I don't know why I'm coughing. Maybe it's, dust particles. And
it's a tumor.
It's not It's not a tumor. In the case you
It's
need
not a
me to
tumor at
say
all.
that again, I'll play this.
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
It's not a tumor at all.
She was a good singer. She had a couple of songs. Yeah, I mean, Nothing Compares to You, which, obviously you have the writing talent of Prince, and then her voice and ability to sing that song the way she did, which, boom, shot her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, talk about someone who was going around with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and I just want to sit back and say hi to the old man. He's in there. And he didn't like anything that she did, but I have to disagree. There are some that I did like, but she herself, she was the bipolar work, and I have to, I think this is the problem. You're just allergic to the Irish. Maybe the wrong person doesn't like that.
Well, that'd be something because I do have Irish in my blood.
Well, unfortunately, I would say a number of these singers, and unfortunately, it's probably going to happen again. Singers, actors, whatever, they just can't overcome their demons, and it can be their demise. Sometimes they do, but other times not so much.
It's really hard, and I don't want to speculate, but with some of the things that she sat back and said too, I have a sad feeling. I know what took her out, and which I don't like to say.
I'm sure it didn't. The suicide of her son didn't help. So.
Right, and that's just it. It's like that's a heavy blow. That's a heavy blow.
Yep.
And she already and I'm not being mean saying this. She already admittedly had mental problems.
She admitted it herself.
Right.
It takes a lot of courage to admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you got to give her points for that. That she realized, oh yeah, I'm kind of screwed up. I mean, of course, like I think it was you, Katja, was saying, a lot of people who are in the industry are.
Yep,
I mean,
they can be. They can be. It's just we don't understand everything. I mean, you got the whole thing with Chester Bennington. You got the whole thing with Cornell. You're like, yeah, I know he was a druggie before, but they just can't overcome their demons, unfortunately. And you don't.
No.
It's very hard to know exactly what happened. But what never helps, Baron, is that these media vultures. They've been doing this for years, is when they twist things around. Or, look at what happened even when Sean Connery passed away. Every dang person who knows of Sean Connery should say, nope, they found an interview, so let's start slandering the man. It's the same with some of the things with, it's aggravating, man. It's just that they have the balls to just do that. They think they're some kind of special people, and I don't know. It just blows my mind. Stan Lee, the same thing, but I heard that documentary at least didn't disrespect him. I still need to watch that. I heard it's actually good. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot to dump on Stan Lee, but you don't have to have everything dumping on Stan Lee or anybody.
Man, people make mistakes, dude. Humans make mistakes, some more than others. So yeah.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier, the press were literally rooting for Amy Winehouse to die, and she does, and then they're It's like you can't have it both ways, but of course they try to do it. I mean, I'm not an Amy Winehouse fan,
right?
But I think it's absolutely disgusting what the press were doing, pushing her along. I mean, they're basically trying to be enablers for her with their stories, and it's like, no, you vultures, you just go, leave already.
Yeah,
go away, get lost.
Yeah, it's really tragic. The lead singer of AC/DC, you can go down the list, but they had problems. The drummer of Zeppelin, and you read about these stories, and you just don't have all the facts because you're not there and you don't know this person, but you can start piecing things together. But I just think it was wrong, really. I understand somebody just dies or something, but look. if you're doing a biopic of their life, you need to show the whole story. Don't sugarcoat some things with people, and then other things you want to have your biased opinions on it. Yes.
Oh yeah, like they
Yeah.
did with the Reagan so-called.
Yeah, on Showtime. Did you ever watch any of that?
No,
Gosh, that is
the one
just
with Josh Brolin as Reagan. Yeah, and it's like, well, yeah. I mean, we don't have anything that he said this, but we just imagined that he did. Okay, stop.
well. Wasn't Josh Brolin the thing? You're thinking of Bush, aren't you? Aren't you thinking of George
No,
W. or but
no,
W?
no.
Oh, that
Brolin.
Oliver Stone did.
Yeah,
Did Brolin
no.
did a? Oh,
Yeah, you're thinking Josh Brolin. I'm talking about James Brolin.
oh,
and
James Brolin.
CBS.
Oh boy.
CBS did did like a mini series, and of course Babs had to get her big schnoz into it, and and be a pain in the ass that she is because he's married to her. And basically, all it was let's smear and be slimy to Ronald Reagan. And it was to the point that CBS said, "No, we're not going to air it," and went to somebody else. I don't know who aired it after that. If it was, one of the pay cables or A&E or by something like that. I don't know.
Well, don't watch that Showtime thing of Reagan because his
Oh,
son
no.
comes on there and he's just happy to bash him every minute. I watched some of that. I said, "This is just this is just absolute slander."
Ronnie Reagan's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Always has been a piece of shit.
I mean, if your father is legitimately a piece of shit, it's one thing. And yes, Reagan did some stuff when my dad was still a professor at the state college, and he started doing some stuff when he was governor here. But Reagan made some mistakes, but he also fixed things too. But they don't want to show the whole story. It's the same thing. Look, however you feel about George W. Bush, was that Bush movie necessary? I don't think so. That Oliver Stone did. I don't think that was necessary. W or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then if you're going to open up that door, then I guess we're going to make fun of the, we can't do that. I see. Okay. That's when I always laugh. I go, oh, they don't want that, but they'll do this because of the certain politics. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but
yeah.
We can save that for the hour 3, which we're half hour into.
well, we're actually still on Kick and YouTube right now, so
nice.
I wanted to make sure I got through these stories for all the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See how hard we work for you? Appreciate us.
I do appreciate you guys.
I'm talking to the chat. See what we do? You got to appreciate us. You know why?
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
I'm so proud of Mike Judd because he won't let people stop him. His vision is his vision, and I love that. I love that about the man. Yeah, Mike Judge. Excuse me. Yeah. I love that about him. He just won't let people stop him. He will make what he feels like making, and he doesn't care what people think. It's obvious.
No, you should care what I think.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
Ooh.
Shut up, Baron.
Yeah, like nobody cares.
I know that's not a very good Beavis and Butthead impression, but
okay.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up, baby.
Shut up, dumbass.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, before we make our shift over to Rumble, is there anything you'd like to promote?
Yes, I do. Tomorrow, I should be on Netter's Network.
Yay!
And this time I won't be distracted and not go there. So I get my apologies, everybody. So I should be there. I honestly don't know what time her show is, but I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I will be there. I promise. She might regret it, but I'll be there.
All right, and also, Cash Money, I'm sure you got something come up.
Yeah, surprises. Yep. Possibly
Uh-oh.
could be Vermintide 2 this weekend, maybe even before that.
What?
With a certain Baron and a certain Pacific. Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Whoa.
If not, most likely next week. We'll see how it goes. But it looks like there may be some bolt gun this week too. I don't want to say what day. I want to leave those as surprises. Maybe something else. Probably in the next few weeks. Probably be a discussion stream. So it's been a while
All
since
right.
I've done one. So.
Wow, listen to him.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
Fancy pants, don't you know?
I've been
And,
enjoying making thumbnails, so the thumbnails has been fun.
and I'm including the link to Netter's Network into all three chats. So please go over to Netter's Network. And I think usually she and Troy start the show at 10 o'clock, but don't take my word for it. That's 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock your time. But don't take my word for it, Baron. Definitely check with her because it's her show.
It's her show. I'm just going to be the humble guest, and I'm honored that I'm going to be there.
Yes.
Yes, you'll make it this time.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but there's also something that the three of us have been invited to join tomorrow prior to your appearance on Netter's Network, my friends, and that's Smoking Patriot's birthday. He's having a birthday stream tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. It'll be on the Smoking Patriots channel. I am grabbing that link.
Nice.
As soon as I grab that link, I will post it into the chats, and we're going to join him, wish him a happy birthday, share several laughs, and have a good time. It's nice having a birthday stream with your friends, and I know I've done it. I've know other people have done it, and just a good old time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, posting Patriots link in there, and I really don't have anything planned for Friday or Saturday as far as the stream is concerned. Of course, Cass, you had already mentioned that we might be playing Vermintide 2 this weekend, so
we might be, yeah.
Yep. So if you would like to find those streams and also consider subscribing to Baron and Cash, I will go ahead and put their links into all three chats as well. I know we're still continuing over on the Rumble side, but I want to make sure everybody has those links. And the links are also in the description. So there's Cash's link for the Phantom Hooligans.
Hooligans.
And
Hooligans, yes.
You forgot the Phantom Hooligans.
Hooligans, yes.
And here is the link for Baron Norman Tag's Fandom Legacy. So there it is for the YouTube side. Here it is for the Rumble side. And last but certainly not least, the Kick side. So there you all go.
And yeah, it will be 9 p.m. Central Standard Time at Netter's. Just one.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be a lot of fun. And until then, folks, I want to thank everybody on the YouTube side for stopping by and joining us for this edition of Pop Talk. We had Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Good to see you, Tommy. And yes, we do know that it's 3 3/4 inch figures. We do.
Yeah. He put us in our place, I tell you what.
I tell you what. And then we had the Panda Wannabe who says, "Is that debit card?" This is when you weren't here, Cash. See what you missed when you're not here?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, DJ Ronnie G was here. Decepticons Cave of Comics and Toys. It's good to see him. And of course, Roll Tide, Killy Chow, Roll Tide. And our guest for Sunday will be Phil McCracken.
No.
Yes, Baron. Yes. And Janet from Another Planet was here. She will be one of our guests for next Wednesday's edition of Pop Talk, which will actually be the 2-year anniversary show for Pop Talk.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. And there was an orca sighting. Lord Crit of Everest Productions was here. T-Gap Steve was here. Tim's Talk was here. And the old man was here. So I want to thank you all over on YouTube and Kick, Rumble. Stick around. We're not going anywhere. And until the next time on Kick and YouTube, there's only one thing to say to all of you. And that is this.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Hi, everybody at YouTube. It was fun. Gotta like the music, though, don't ya? Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh.